Alright, good morning, never defeated crew, coming at you from my grandmother's sewing room. This is Elijah Hasser, aka Hercules, aka the Human Transformer, aka Hazard, aka the best. And I got some questions on protein that I'm going to go over today. And so the first question was my opinions and some facts on vegan protein sources. And I assume, as usual, they'll be compared to non-vegan protein sources and what my opinions are. And so I was actually vegan for most of high school, and I have been on and off throughout my athletic career as I'm doing ultra marathons and whatnot. So I definitely am an advocate for that within the correct context. Now, some vegan protein sources are usually looking at plant-based hemp, pea protein, sweet potato protein I've seen in some products, and just various other soy, of course. And so one obvious issue that I've seen with vegan protein sources is they're gross. It's very hard to find a good tasting vegan protein. They just don't taste good, unlike whey, which is based from milk. It doesn't actually taste like chocolate or anything like that. You can't get the nice flavors out of it usually. So that's a big roadblock for most people, myself included. Sometimes I don't want to gulp down 4 scoops of hemp protein to equal the correct amount of macros I'm trying to reach post-workout or whenever I'm using it. But there are definitely some successes, and I know a lot of people are going to be more interested in benefits or negatives beyond just taste. So some anecdotal evidence for vegan proteins. I know Derek Poundstone, multiple World's Strongest Man competitor, has been quoted to say that he uses soy and other vegan proteins. Main reason I've heard him say on that is just variance, that just he already gets enough meat and dairy-based food within his diet, and throwing in a soy or hemp or whatever he happens to be using creates some variance, and there's definitely some validity there. I know a lot of people want a varied diet, try to get as much nutrients and different types of nutrients as possible, and so obviously it hasn't hindered his performance. It's hard scientifically to tell if it's benefited his performance, since there are so many variables that go into that. I don't know if he drank only raw milk, he wouldn't still be a top competitor. So it's hard to say that vegan protein had anything to do with that, but we do know it didn't stop him from reaching the levels that he did. And then, of course, not strength related, but many top endurance athletes go by a vegan diet, and many popular endurance athletes, maybe not top athletes as well. One of my favorite is Scott Jurek. He has his own book, Eat and Run, where he talks about his journey to a vegan diet and what that meant for him. And so again, obviously it didn't hinder him too much. He had 7 straight Western States wins, won the Badwater Ultra Marathon, set the Appalachian Trail record at one time. And so it hasn't hindered his performance either, but again, we don't know if it's benefited his performance or if that was the optimal diet for him. Another issue is getting a full protein. We know from whey we can get a full protein alone. A lot of vegan sources have to be combined, which isn't necessarily a negative. Like I said, we're getting some variance, but you don't get a full protein out of many of these sources, so it has to either be combined or you aren't getting that complete amino acid profile. And the final reason or comparison would be that a lot of studies have shown whey protein to have a better absorption rate, and that just means that you're going to get all the nutrients out of it. and sometimes you'll get them out quicker, which is very important post-workout, and I'll get into that a little bit more later with some of the other questions I have. And so you just want it to be absorbed. If you're taking something and you're not getting all the nutrients out of it, it's wasted. You've wasted your money and your time. And so another question that I have here is how to get non-candy bar protein bars. Now, first off, I'm not exactly sure what that means, as you know, a nutrient is a nutrient, and I don't see anything as a bad food. They're just different sources of fuel, and so I'm not exactly sure. I assume we're talking about sugar content, and you're looking for something that's not loaded with sugar. That's what I would associate a candy bar with. And so I'll just tell you what I take. So the protein bars that I like to eat, I'll have them at work, I'll have them post-workout. Just happens that my current job, South Sound Running, sells them, are the Pro Bar Base. They have various flavors. The one I like is a coffee crunch. It also has some caffeine in it, and I just looked that up online. It has 16 grams of sugar, and I will add to that you do want a certain level of carbohydrate or sugar when you're taking a protein source. It'll help it break down, and especially if we're talking about post-workout, you want to refuel those glycogen stores, and it will help with our protein synthesis and whatnot. So without knowing 100% what we're going for there, that's what I got for you there. Pro Bar Base are what I take. And another question I had, what are some of the best protein sources to drop fat and build muscle? Now with that, I say lean proteins are great. Chicken, that's what, chicken and rice, it's the bodybuilder diet. It works. Fish. As the follow-up question from the same person was how much protein per day, I just make sure you're getting the right amounts and spread out through your day is what I believe to be the best. And so how much per day, I subscribe to the belief that around 1 gram per pound of body weight is best. And that's just, it's based on your size. I don't like numbers that go off of or give everyone a specific amount per se. I don't think everybody needs 100 grams. I don't think everybody needs 20 grams per serving. I think we need to see how big you are, if you're male or female, what your lean body mass is. I think there's an equation that could go into it to get the optimal number, but a quick and easy one is just 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're 200 pounds, get 200 pounds in, and I divide that by 5 to 6 meals. So just get 40 grams or so per meal, and you'll be good. If we're looking to just strictly build muscle and not necessarily drop fat, but just increase size, I'm a firm believer in whole milk. It's great. I've done the Go Mad diet where you drink a gallon of milk a day for about a month or more. And it's great. Milk has your protein, carbs, and fat. It's going to raise your testosterone. It's going to increase muscle mass. And all your lifts are going to go up. You're going to get stronger. I guarantee it. But if you're looking to drop fat, I still would be an advocate of whole milk over any sort of low fat or no fat type of milk. Even for fat loss, I just wouldn't drink a gallon of milk a day. I'd go for a smaller quantity, and then I'd mix it with our chicken and good carbohydrate sources. I like potatoes. I don't care, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, fruits, vegetables. I'll do beef and hash browns for dinner. I have eggs and bacon for breakfast, and then I usually have some lunch meat, tuna, and whatever else is in the fridge mixed in throughout the rest of the day at work. I'll have some oatmeal at night if I'm not hitting my carb. Alright, hey Never Defeated crew, I'm back. I wanted to add some elements that I left out of the first video, and those elements are supplements beyond just the protein bars that I mentioned. I want to go through what I take, why I take it, and my views on supplementation. So to start off, I'll go through my views. Real food is almost always better than a supplement. When real food becomes suboptimal is post-workout. So post-workout, you want something that's easily digestible, can go straight into your system and start refueling those glucose stores and beginning protein synthesis. So you want something quick digesting. For that, I take First Form's Formula 1. It's something that's worked very well for me personally, and it also tastes good. There's the Fruity Loop flavor and whatnot, and as I mentioned in the previous video, taste is important to me, so I enjoy First Form's Formula 1. And like I said, other than that specific scenario, real food is optimal. Like I said, from true protein sources, fish, lean meats, chicken, beef, eggs, bacon, all those things that I consume on a daily basis are going to be superior to a standard protein shake any other time of the day. That being said, that's in an optimal scenario. And a lot of times with our working lives, training, and running all over the place, we are not in an optimal scenario. So we're rushed for time, or we don't have the availability to go eat a chicken breast. And so that's when something like a full protein shake or meal replacement shake comes into play, and I think that is perfectly acceptable as long as that is not your main source of calories. It is still a supplement. It is supposed to be supplemental to your standard diet. And that being said, for breakfast or anytime throughout the day, if I'm trying to up my protein, again, I go back to First Form. I take their level 1 shake, and again, it tastes good. The reason I go with them is because I've tried all sorts of other products. My girlfriend gets on me. I love trying different things because I want to know what works the best. And so I really enjoy them. I can get into more detail if somebody is more interested on why I like them specifically. But I've had issues with pretty much every single other whey protein. My stomach screws up. I get bathroom issues and whatnot, and I have not had that with First Form products, so that would be why I go with them. And that is completely personal, completely anecdotal. I'm not showing you studies and saying that you have to go with them. I'm just sharing what works for me. And another element is other supplements, and I want to get into that into other videos, but I'll just share I do take a multivitamin. I personally like the animal packs, or the Hero multivitamin from First Form is good as well. I cycle those back and forth. I really like both. And I'll take creatine, fish oil, pre-workout. I personally like non-caffeinated pre-workouts, and that doesn't mean I work out without caffeine. I just like to be able to add it in when I want to and not have it when I do. So I'll have my pre-workout not mixed, but side by side with some black coffee sometimes, or none at all, because I don't always like to work out caffeinated, and I feel like a lot of pre-workouts have too much caffeine. I don't want 300 milligrams of caffeine pre-workout. I like to be focused, and I don't need to get that psyched up. It actually seems counterproductive for me. I start getting jittery and I can't lift as well as I could without the caffeine. So I personally like none to smaller quantities, so like a cup of coffee, which would be 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine, as opposed to 200 to 300 that is in many other supplements. And that is all for this additional video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, Never Defeated crew.